There's new reporting from the Washington Post that internal ICE records reveal widespread use of force in detention centers holding immigrants. According to the Post, the records detail hundreds of incidents where guards have increasingly used chemical agents and physical tactics on detainees, including groups demanding adequate water, food, and medical care. The records were obtained by a government employee and shared with the newspaper on the condition of anonymity. The Post's analysis of the records finds that as ICE's crackdown on illegal immigration has flooded detention centers with record numbers of detainees, guards inside those facilities have increasingly resorted to acts of physical abuse. Specifically, detention guards have used punches, kicks, takedown maneuvers, restraint holds, and restraint chairs, as well as less lethal weapons such as tasers and pepper spray. In response, a spokeswoman for the Department of Homeland Security declined to comment specifically on the Post's analysis, saying she was unable to verify the data, adding this: ICE law enforcement officers are trained to use the minimum amount of force necessary to resolve dangerous situations to prioritize the safety of the detainees, the public, and our officers. Officers are highly trained in de-escalation tactics and regularly receive ongoing use of force training. Let's now bring in California's Attorney General, Rob Bonta, and MS Now senior legal reporter Lisa Rubin is with us as well. Thank you both. Mr. Attorney General, starting with you, this past Friday, your office released a report on the state of detention facilities in your state, California. What can you tell us?
Well, it painted a picture of inhumane and unacceptable and cruel conditions, often substandard, what had long been substandard conditions since we started doing these reports. We have a unique ability to do so in California, to go inside facilities, to do physical inspections, to talk to detainees, talk to staff, review documents. And it revealed that what was already substandard has gotten worse. Basic needs like food and water and health care were not being provided at the 7 for-profit private immigration detention centers in California. We also saw some of what you just showed up on the screen with respect to improper use of pepper spray. There were strip searches. There were lack of provision of blankets when there was freezing cold in some of the facilities. So top to bottom, up and down, across the board, we saw just substandard, cruel, inhumane, and unacceptable conditions. And we provided a report on that last Friday.
Attorney General, it's Lisa Rubin here in studio. I'm wondering, you've had a lot of, it's good to see you. You've had a lot of success in litigating against this administration with respect to immigration actions in your state specifically. Can we expect any action from you with respect to this newest report and what's happening in detention centers in your state?
Perhaps. And, you know, our role here, again, unique in the nation, the only state that has it, is the ability to shine a light and provide sunlight, which is the best disinfectant, on what's happening inside these facilities, which are often black boxes. There's not a line of sight among a lot of policymakers in other states, and we have that unique ability. We think that what we are revealing should be of great interest to, one, the Department of Homeland Security and ICE. They are not even holding these for-profit private corporations, CoreCivic, Geo Group, to follow their contractual requirements. They're supposed to provide potable water. They're supposed to provide nourishing, appetizing meals. They're supposed to provide adequate health care. They're supposed to meet basic standards of health, safety, and sanitation, and they're not. And billions of dollars are being spent across the country on these facilities, and ICE and the government are providing no accountability or oversight for that. So they need to do better. Also, Congress can act and should act. And so there's an ability for Congress to take action. Our legislature in California can as well. And yes, perhaps we might act in the future. We're not going to get into any details of any pending or potential investigations or litigation at this point. But all options are on the table.
Attorney General, one of the reasons you're out here east, though, is because of this hearing. You're going to Capitol Hill to talk about, to testify about antitrust and the state of a United States in which competition feels like sometimes an afterthought, at least as it concerns the everyday American. We talk about affordability, but frankly, Live Nation and Ticketmaster, this story is a pretty good window into it. Could you explain what you're here to say? Yeah,
I'm honored to be invited to testify on Capitol Hill today about the antitrust litigation and actions that we've been involved in generally, specifically with respect to Ticketmaster Live Nation. We won a jury verdict, multiple states, bipartisan, by the way, in New York a couple weeks back, where a jury reviewed the evidence and found on every question presented to them. In an 11-page jury verdict, they found against Ticketmaster Live Nation in 4 the states. And so there was anti-competitive actions being taken. Ticketmaster Live Nation were found liable. And one important part of that story was that the federal government, the United States Department of Justice, which was involved in the antitrust enforcement, they settled on a very weak and inadequate set of terms a couple days into trial and bailed. And the states were left to fight for the people, to fight for affordability. Antitrust is about affordability, making sure that there's not corporate consolidation or anti-competitive practices that raise prices unlawfully for the American people. It's the biggest issue that Americans are screaming about. And this administration, the Trump administration, has been weak and soft when it comes to antitrust enforcement.
Democratic Attorney General Rob Bonta of California. Mr. Attorney General, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.